here to decipher between the men and the boys is BYU head football coach Bronco Mendenhall, a.k.a. White Chocolate, back in Studio B. You stole the show.
I'm so glad that you brought that up today.
You knew we'd lead with that.
I absolutely did. I was actually looking at this, the BYU Sports Nation. What if, on my headset on game day, the microphone, what if there's a little smaller version of that going right to the microphone?
Or even a hashtag BYUSN.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Dude, I'm serious about this. The offensive play charts? Like a picture of Spencer or something? Or the logo
I
of the
have
show?
the exact play.
Is it the rugby play?
I have one actually for both of you.
Really?
Yeah. We usually don't use them because they don't work. But we have cards. They don't work.
Okay, we're going to look forward to that.
I'm just saying.
I'm excited now. I'm really excited. How are the Y Awards for you?
I went actually just to be a spectator, and I think for the second year in a row now, there's some reason I'm up on stage. And
we unleashed the juvenile hijinks on you.
You went after it, though. I give you credit. You got called up there, and you embraced it. You had to.
But so I bet everyone's been saying, man, I've been a good sport. Oh, it's on the thing. Oh, my gosh.
It's on the TV set right now.
Yeah, so I don't even know what to say about that.
I know
Hashtag white chocolate.
It was awesome. Yeah, hashtag white chocolate. Okay, Bronco, we promise that we'll talk about some football now. We won't talk about only dancing.
Oh, man.
But first and foremost, this has been an offseason of change for you in football, taking over the defense once again. And we want to know what has been the biggest change since you made that decision to do that.
Man, I don't know if there's been a biggest change. I think the most effective change is it's just allowed our assistant coaches to be completely freed up to work with their players. And without the responsibility of coordinating coaches, without the additional responsibility of possibly scheme or strategy or off-season research, they've been able to just really work with their players, which has been necessary. And so I've never really viewed this as it's me taking over the defense. What I've really viewed it as adding a resource and a structural change to get one more experienced coach with that group. And what I underestimated is when I took myself out of that to become the head coach, that left 4 coaches, not 5. And quite frankly, that was a big deal, especially with as many plays as we play now defensively with our offensive strategy. And that format, not necessarily personnel, the format really didn't fit so well. But it has been fun to be back with the players on a daily basis, and I like coaching defense, so that part's been good too.
What difference have you seen on the field, off the field, with you inserted into that mix now?
I think there's always just, when leadership changes, there's a shift toward personality of the leader, and so I love guys exactly behind the line. I love guys finishing through lines exactly. I love the discipline part. I love the accountability part a lot. And I love guys trying hard. And eventually they'll learn what to do. But first of all, they have to actually be able just to take the field correctly. And so, I think it's been a change for them to have a focus on things that they might not think are football related, but I think they're life specific, and I think they're culture building. So I love that part of it.
A couple of your loudest personalities in hair and in clothing, Devon Blackman and Mitch Matthews, have brought up the culture change, specifically with us on this show. They have said, things just feel different. Mitch compared it to how he felt in 2009 before that team with Max Hall and Dennis Pitta and Harvey Unga. How have you felt about the culture of this spring?
I think it's been really strong, and I would probably trace it to leadership and organization again, and the people in the spot. So Frank Wintrick with our strength staff, that's been phenomenal, and that culture. Having Taysom back offensively, that's another strong leader there. Myself back defensively, and then obviously Coach and I coming back. And so now if you think about the leadership at each one of those spots, you really can't look to a particular place and say, man, I wish we had a guy there or there. So strength and conditioning right on, quarterback right on, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator right on. And it's actually lightened the load for Coach Papinga special teams wise. So I think when you put the culture and the leadership all together and then the people with it, I think that's why they are saying what they're saying. Pretty cool.
Our Twitter question today is this. I want you to answer this too. Where do you hope BYU improved the most in spring ball?
Yeah, we've already kind of addressed it. Last year's team gave a baseline of not nearly the discipline, not nearly the consistency, not nearly the maturity and then the execution that was necessary in the critical moments to hold. And so, man, we've put them under a lot of pressure to be disciplined, to maintain their composure, to then hopefully have the execution be, again, more consistent and the team mature. And so I think that's where we've made inroads.
So along with the discipline that you just brought in, where do you feel like the defense needs to improve the most, specifically to enjoy what would be a success in your mind?
Yeah, it's going to be consistency in the secondary. We have new players in the secondary, and so losing Daniel Sorensen a couple of years ago, that was a hit. Now Craig Bills, that's another one. So really, if you look at the secondary, Kai Nakua is coming back from really a starter from the Central Florida game on by default. And so he's maturing. Eric Takanaka right now is holding down the other spot as a brand new junior college player. Mike Davis might be called on to be a starter at corner now, which he was at times last year. And Micah Hanneman is a starter at the other corner right off of mission. So there really is the potential of two part-time starters from a year ago and two new starters. And so that is the most volatile the position in terms of depth and experience. It's also the most volatile in terms of giving up points. So we're working around the clock, and that's another reason why I've inserted myself defensively, is to give Coach Howell just every minute of every day working with that group. And so it's been the right fit, no question, and it's going to be all he can do, and he's doing a great job of just getting that group to where they're consistent, mature, and they execute at a really high level.
So if that's the most volatile, I guess, position group, what's the least volatile?
D-line and front seven. So linebackers, they're still not a ton of experience, but they're youthful and there's all kinds of talent. D-line is the kind of the grandfatherly group, and we already know that they'll be able to play and play really well. And so first, least volatile D-line, second, linebackers, third, in terms of consistency, is the secondary.
Do you have an inside linebacker that can be that guy like we talked about on signing day?
We'll see. Austin Heater has done a really, really nice job of being that guy in terms of leadership and consistency through spring. Being able to make the dynamic plays and having the production to go with it, that remains to be seen. Harvey Longy has not been in spring, but he probably has the ability to cover the field and do all that, adding the consistency. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And then if you go to the Buck linebacker, Manoa Pakula, Jeremiah, those two guys, almost the same scenario as the Mike linebacker. The one inside backer that's emerging this spring that's been really, really a pleasant surprise is Philip Amone. He can play, and that's been really fun to see.
Bronco Mendenhall, white chocolate, bringing the flavor on a Friday.
Bringing the flavor.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Always great to talk to you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.